What inspires you or gives you hope? This feels a little cheesy to ask. I'm going to ask it anyway. When you think about the students that you work with here at Calvin, what gives you hope in a pretty complicated world right now about our future?
I'm really inspired by seeing what our students do after they graduate or even how they form their plans to go off and graduate. You know, when I was in college, I wasn't nearly as idealistic as a lot of our students are. And I don't mean idealistic in a kind of dreamy way, I'm going to save the world. But I think honestly, I was a bit more selfish about my own future plans than a lot of my students are. I did what was gratifying to me by staying in graduate school and getting a degree and becoming a teacher. And I did know that was a career that was going to enable me to help people, but uh, I wasn't thinking as much because I wasn't at Calvin and I wasn't at a place that had this larger vision of service and vocation. And I wasn't thinking about how my work would help to build the kingdom per se. Um, a lot of my classmates went off to do things like become Wall Street bankers, and the goal was to make a lot of money. Um, very few of my students seem to be motivated by a goal of making a lot of money. They go into all kinds of careers. They become teachers or social workers or librarians or engineers. Um, they're all working for the kingdom in a variety of different ways, some very small scale, and teachers are certainly still working to build the kingdom. But I see people doing much more ambitious things than I would have done, right? They go abroad and they create programs to assist refugees in Europe. They work in Christian schools in Indonesia and Cambodia. They found schools. They serve in so many ways that I love watching as I keep in touch with them, and it's a pleasure to keep in touch with former students who often become friends, and so that really continues to inspire me and kind of vindicates my choice to be a teacher here. Matt?
I'd like to pick up on something that Kate said there near the end about serving. I think Calvin, at its best, inspires students to live lives of service in God's kingdom. And that can take many different forms. It can occur in many different places. But it's one of the great things that we do to invite students into that space, into that project. Um, and like Kate says, it doesn't have to change every bit of the world, but the sort of the bloom where you're planted idea. You find yourself somewhere, and how can I serve? What can I do here to make the world a better place? It's actually quite a one of the joys of teaching for me is to know that we're in the process of inviting students into that space and to encourage and enable and embolden them to do that as they leave our campus and as they go out and to serve in the rest of the world. It's a point of um, it's a point of great pride to know that some of our students pick up that vision and go do that.